Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Christmas edition of FPL Don't Panic. I hadn't intended doing a video today. It's actually Boxing Day here in New Zealand. But my son bought me a lovely new webcam on the premise of, Dad, your technology is shit. I said, I know, son, I know. Yeah, happy Christmas. Oh, thank you, son. He said, I've got a new computer coming for you as well. Oh, bless him. Yeah, I really need a new computer, so hopefully he'll be over in the next few days to help me get that set up. You wouldn't believe, I've worked in the technology industry for the last 30 years. I have no idea how I've survived. I have no idea how I've survived. Must be my winning personality. That's all I've got. Why do I want to do this video today? Want to test out the new webcam, just to see how that looks. And secondly, just to share with you some thoughts I've had in the last day or two, which basically starts with, I have made a major mistake. Major mistake. Yeah, and I'll tell you what the mistake is. Those of you that have been following me for a wee while, and I haven't sort of updated when I do my intros and stuff like that, what my objectives are. So for the benefit of those that have sort of been tuning in recently, there's been quite a few of you, and it's been fantastic. I set out the season with some very, very fundamental principles, aiming for a 70-point average and to finish in the top 100k. So this is effectively my first season playing FPL in any way seriously. I've already made some huge errors, but I've also done quite a bit right. I mean, my methodology overall is basically working, and I actually need to go back to those basics. I'll take you through that in a second, but I say 70-point average, top 100k finish. Very simple. I run my little spreadsheet, I put the players in, they start falling off their averages, I move them out and I bring in someone that is hitting those averages. And by and large, that's been working, except when I have strayed from the principles of what I'm trying to do. And unfortunately, I did do that this week. So if you look at the first 5 game weeks, I was absolutely bang on my 70-point average, although I was using obviously last year's data, which made it more challenging. But I was exactly on 70 points average. Then I'd stopped following my spreadsheet, I made a mistake, and I actually went, oh, got to have Haaland, even though it meant breaking up other areas of the team. And of course, my numbers fell off a cliff. And then I did my surgery. In fact, the easiest way to show it is actually just actually bring up, hopefully I can do this without losing you guys. Yeah, hopefully that worked. So I don't even want to scroll down because it just looks painful. It just hurts me. But if you sort of look there, we got there 83, 75, 77, 45, 68. I was absolutely bang on my 70s, and then you can see where it went pear shapes as Haaland came in and started doing the damage. 42, oh, I don't know, 42, 49. Anyway, I dropped from my 70-point average down all the way down to about 60, and then at about game week 11, that's right, 8, 9, 10, I did some serious surgery, and then you can see from game week 11. Things got nicely back on track, and by then what I actually needed to achieve was actually across the rest of the season I needed to achieve a 71-point average or have some really big scores come in to get it back to that 70-point average. Now, I do have to point out here, I do not think there is an earthly that I will actually achieve a 70-point average across the whole of the season. It's aspiration. It's something what I try and build my spreadsheet towards, is actually showing me that it's going to any team I put out is going to hit that average. But the reality is that 70 points a week, or an average of 70 points a week, would in some seasons have won this thing. The current leader is averaging about 73 points, but if you go back just a few short months ago, that was actually up at about 100 or so near the beginning of the season. But that's obviously just creeping down on a weekly basis. It's come from something like 110 in the first week or two to down into the low hundreds, 90s, 80s, and it has gradually made its way all the way down to where it is now 73. I think it's going to be a high average, the winner this year, just fundamentally with this pattern that's going on at the moment. By game week 15 last year, it was down to 70 already, but it's at about 73 at the moment, and I think that's because we're obviously getting things like these the anomaly of these Salah hauls where Salah is so highly owned, so that's obviously going to keep those averages up. But by and large, the winner is going to end up on about a 70 or 73-point average. So I'm getting anywhere close to 70. It should give me a top 100k finish. Now, here is the thing. Obviously, with the Saka injury, I hadn't been well. That's the only excuse I've got, and I made a rash transfer in. Jota was the last person I should have been bringing in, because as I say, if you look at these numbers from 11 to 17, you know, you've got, what do you got? You've got 76, 70, 70, 76, 60, 72, 60, 85, 88, 75. And that's just post my surgery, corrective surgery, when I moved Haaland out. So that's got me to that average of 74. Now, where it's actually just fallen off is in the last few game weeks with that 76, 60, 72, 60. Now, I had spoken about it in a couple of videos, you know, that there's a couple of players that are actually just starting to fall off of their averages. And those two players are Saka and João Pedro. So I should not have been bringing in a player like Jota. I should have been bringing in a Bruno or Maddison. Maddison's numbers are actually pretty good. I just a little bit of liability on the on his minutes. He gives a little bit, you know, is it Johnson, Maddison? He's going to play above. So this is one of the problems we have at the moment. A lot of teams there's players we fancy, but we've got that sort of rotation worry there in about minutes. Regardless of that, Jota's not the player I should have been bringing in. He's only just come back from injuries. His minutes are a massive risk. I should have been bringing in Bruno. Bruno locked in. His averages are actually good. I know he blanked last week, but Bruno was the guy to bring in, and that would have been freed up money for this week or after this game week to maybe do a bit of an upgrade in João Pedro or upgrade, you know, dare I say it, upgrade maybe an Enzo or a Mad. But their numbers are actually good. Their numbers are good. Hopefully they can get back on track. They both blanked last week. But just do minor corrective surgery on a weekly basis to keep those averages on track. Unfortunately, in a rush of blood to the head, you know, I brought in Diego Jota. Now, it may work out. He may well haul for me and come off, even if he comes off the bench for 30 minutes, get me the goals. So, what am I saying here? What I'm saying is I've made a mistake this week. I might get away with it. This team looks good. Bring her up again. The team by and large looks good. Even if Diego Jota blanks, there's good fixtures there. So hopefully we can get somewhere close to that sort of 70 mark. But if I get away with it this week, I think it will be a move to maybe bring in Bruno next week. I've spoken to a couple of you about it. You know, do I try and make that move towards Haaland by game week 21? But Haaland's what caused me all the bloody problems in that little period of time. So I don't really care what Haaland gets, quite frankly, as long as this team is getting me close to that 70-point average. You know, I'm not really worried about what other people do. It's across that season, hitting that 70 points or trying to get as close to it as I can. So Jota's a mistake. Let's call a spade a spade. But I might get away with it, and I think hopefully the rest of the team's strong enough to get me the average that I want and sort of get me somewhere towards that 70 points. I will be doing a major update on the spreadsheet. There's no point doing it now. The damage may or may not have been done. But once this game week's out of the way, is to get back on that spreadsheet, look at the players that are actually performing, hitting their averages, where the weaknesses are, and that's where I'll start doing my tweaking, as I say, over the next few game weeks. Because I would like to get to a position again, which I was in before the Saka injury, you know, where I can actually start to roll a few transfers. We know we've got the assistant managers chip. You know, we're obviously going to need, if we're going to switch managers and that, we're going to need to transfer around managers. I think I'm going to leave it till the end of the season, but you know, I could change my mind if suddenly see fixtures in front of me, or we suddenly see, I don't know, make this up as I go along. If we suddenly see Leicester hitting into an incredible run of form under a new manager, don't think that's likely. And they've got, like, you know, a home fixture against a Brentford, and they've got another home fixture, I don't know, against another team. You think, oh crikey, you know, there could be some big points in there. Don't think I'm going to do it, but again, it's just something we have to be flexible with this game, as you all know. And sometimes it does have to be a bit reactive. But what I shouldn't have been reactive to is Saka's injured. He was falling off his numbers anyway. This was the ideal opportunity to move him out without second guessing myself and bringing in a Bruno and getting my numbers back. Over the last 4 game weeks that had just fallen down to 67, looking good, yeah, over the 11 to 17 period, looking fantastic at 74, because that, if I could keep that up, that's and if I can stay on that average, even at that 74, it's going to claw back slowly over a week-on-week basis that fall off that I had in that sort of game weeks 6 to 9 with the Haaland mistake. That's kind of it. I hope that sort of made sense. I am going to, so in summary, Des, you effed up. Don't worry about it. Hope you get away with it. Update your spreadsheet after this game week. look at the averages and look where the little minor corrective surgery is done as opposed to a major overhaul. The team, by and large, is hitting my numbers. That's the important thing. It'd be a little bit boring at times, but that was what you said, and this is the whole idea of me doing these webcasts, is to keep me, because I'm not very disciplined, as you've all noticed, is to actually keep me on track and stop doing crazy things. I won't do crazy. I'll always do the odd crazy thing. Can't help myself. But at least have a model that I'm working towards actually achieving basic objectives, average 70, hit top 100k. I think that is it for today, folks. We are 10:36 in the morning here on Boxing Day in New Zealand, so I estimate we're about 12 hours away from deadline. So I will be up and doing an all-nighter watching. I think my son's coming over, hopefully with my new computer, and we're just going to do an all-nighter watching the football here in New Zealand. Hope you all had a fantastic Christmas day. We had a huge amount of fun in New Zealand. It was beautiful yesterday. It is absolutely tipping down with rain today. So we got away with that one. Have fun, play your own game. Oh, and don't forget to vote on. It's actually almost running neck and neck. João Pedro just slightly in the lead as to whether I bench João Pedro or Enzo. You'll see I've got Pedro in at the moment because he's just slightly in the lead. I'll leave a question in the comments, so I don't have to go back counting votes and stuff like that. Because I need someone to blame on this. I'm leaving points on the bench every week, so I need to blame you guys, not me. Take care. Bye bye.